Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, bearers of the holy light of God. How beautiful to come together with you and to start with the light of divinity, to see that there's something here that's timeless, changeless, untouched. That's happiness. So much happiness in that. That see that we can rest as this light, as infinite light, and it will melt away everything in the world and see the world from the perspective of this infinite light within. To stay as light and see everything. Yet that little habit, the little hamster on the wheel habit of jumping on the hamster wheel of the idea of an identity, the desire to run as fast as we can to try to get away from the light, even though the light is here. Yet we can see it's so beautiful, check in and go, is this light going anywhere? Even if we want to avoid this infinite light that's here, can we avoid it in some way? Impossible. And as we look with the light, we start to see that everything boils down to the desire for choice. We can ask the light then, is choice at the core of this illusion, the choice to experience a dream? We can ask the light that, is this a choice to experience a dream? You can hear the light's answer. We're so devoted to choice. The play of consciousness is choice, that there are two things to choose between. There's a better tomorrow, and there's changing the past, rather than seeing that it's all whole and complete now. Infinite light, as it is, perfect, whole, and complete. Salvation has come, the light's here. Supreme happiness. So wait a minute, where is that now? Why don't we feel that infinite love? Because we're so habituated, we're so addicted to consciousness, the play of two. And this is so helpful to see with Jesus and have him lead us and hold our hand each step of the way to go, okay, there's light, infinite light, and now the contrast. I'm not feeling light at all. I'm feeling mad. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling anything other than light. And to look so directly down the layers with him, starting with light in contrast to light, and go, let's see what the real challenge is. Is there a world outside of us in the light of divine being? Can we find a world out there in the light? When we look as the light, is there a world? Is there an object here looking out at the world? Can we find one? In our direct experience as light beings, can we find a little line of separation? A little box, and there's a box over there. Does the light know any separation whatsoever? Just knows light. So we could stay as the light. We can. Can we choose just to stay as light? Because we're light already. The question is, can we choose whether we're light or not? That's the first question. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, can we choose not to be light? And hear what the light says. Can we pretend that we're not the light and try to hide from it and duck and cover and get away from it? Can we pretend and ask the light that? And here the light says, yep. All within the light. And here the lights, what the light says. So that's the voice for God telling us, are we infinite? Is there something here that's infinite? Even we can't admit it ourselves. That's the whole challenge. We're light and we don't want to admit we're light. We're having this conversation, but at least when we can say, look, I don't want to be light. At least we know what the truth is. That's the honesty of God. I don't want to be infinite. See, if we're denying that, and we're in the play of consciousness, the play of other, then we're hopelessly lost. But when we can say, there's something here, infinite, unlimited, unchanging. This is sounding like the Vedas. This is sounding like the Christian mystics' description of God, infinite, unchanging, obvious. It's so simple. It's already here. Salvation is salvation already here as the light. So then what is the struggle with salvation? We can ask the light. And do we need the help of this infinite light to get us out of this belief that we're bodies and objects being acted on by the world, that we're duking it out with something? Yet we can see there's a light. Is the light duking it out with anything? Is the light doing touche? It's really helpful to see that, because that's the contrast between the light that doesn't duke it out with anything. Is it trying to scare anything? Does it try to scare something? Because that's the ego's plan. The ego's plan is to look at light. See, when we look from the perspective of light, nothing's happening. But if we look from the perspective, the idea we think we have, the light's going to look really scary, because the whole ego consciousness is made to perceive light as dangerous. We can ask, in the light, is consciousness a play to make the light seem dangerous? It is dangerous to a sense of personal identity. Because it shows it can't happen. In the light of divine being, is the ego true in honesty of God? And here the answer of the light: no. The light's simple. No, it's impossible. It's a dream. It's not wanting to see the miscreation. So now, through the light circles, through the blessing of come together as brothers, now we can just look simply. It's light, and if it's not light, that means it's a desire for experience to say no. Well, I'm seeing that in order to, it's like, it's so simple. I'm light. Why don't I feel like light? Because there's a desired experience below the level of awareness to say no to it. And I thank Jesus so much for making this so clear, because it's in the Course. It's all over the Course. When you really start reading the Course, for some reason, I guess the denial of admitting the desire. And then so here pours out an entire book that the Jesus and New Covenant for me, right? To get my focus and attention, put your attention right here. Let me show you. And like every other sentence is, you deny, you desire, you desire, you desire, you desire, you desire. It's like, okay, I got to look at this now. But then it becomes so easy, because then we see that every single belief is mapped out for us in the Course. So we don't have to wonder what they are. We don't have to wait till they arrive in consciousness. He painted the whole picture in A Course in Miracles, and now he's teaching us. Let me show you how simple it is to see that you're light, and then let that desire itch rise up in the light, and see how long that hangs out. See if that itch for denial of divinity is going to survive long. We call it the light handshake, where the energetic investment, the no meets God, the light, and see which one of those is real. In the light of divine being, can any denial of divinity last in the light of divine being? So he's just given us the God handshake, which is the miracle. He's given us the miracle handshake. Let's put together the idea of denial of divinity, let it rise up. Let me show it to you. So we ask him, okay, Jesus, I know there's a denial in here somewhere, because I'm not feeling supremely happy. Will you show me X? And then he just starts delivering it out. So for me, he was starting to deliver it in the clearing, chapter 20, beliefs and desires. But now we're getting really light trained to go to the light first, recognizing that they're light. Now we can really start moving through him. We've gone through these chapter 20 a couple of times. We just do a check-in with him. He's saying, okay, let's go through this as light beings and see how he's taking the beliefs in the course and said, this is what you desire under this. This is what you really want to experience. But we're so used to saying, like, when anger comes up, I'm really mad. We don't say, honesty of God, I desire to have an experience with him. I want to deny myself divinity by being mad. See, we don't. I want to deny myself the love of the Father because I'm really mad right now, or whatever it is, or because I'm frustrated, or because I'm sad or depressed. So all of those emotions he's showing us are above desire. So the expression of consciousness, and you can look at David Hoffmeister has that little, but you'll discover it yourself, and Jesus is pointing to it right here. He's got that levels of mind. And where it starts out with desire, but you see this in your direct experience, but it's just helpful to see it's desires, beliefs, emotions, perception of a world. So so you can work at the level of beliefs. You can work at the level of desire. Like, that's the root. And so now he's saying, let me take you down to the root of the wanting, of the itch. Let's go to the itch. Let's go where and see how we really do not want to be light. It's so happy. It's so direct. It's like, oh, yes. And how the light helps us find those places where, oh, no, I don't want to be light. That is so quick. So we can ask the light right now, Jesus, or the light of divine being, are there places where I just absolutely do not want to be the light? And hear what the light says. Because if we're not supreme happiness, light's going to say yes. Now, we'll go through these beliefs, but you can also spend this time with Jesus. We do in the mornings here. Get up early in the morning. And at 6, I've talked about this, and just sit with desire. Start with the light always. And just because this is the guilt-free zone. Does the light have any guilt in it? Can we find guilt anywhere? And you might feel smoke arising out of your ears. I don't know how it'll appear in consciousness, because that's the play, mind wandering, just when you're getting to the deep of the deep, the core of the desire for choice, because that's what this is. We're going to drill down to the itch. We really want control. We want to say no to God. Right when you get in there, as I've said before, you're going to want to order a pizza. Don't move, and just say, go to the light and go, Jesus. No, do I stay with you on this? And you start to hear him say, no, stay with me on this. And it asks the light, will you help me? And you can hear, we can ask it now. Will the light help us with this? It's like, yes, of course it is, because that's our natural state. That's what we came here for, to be mighties for each other, to say, okay, we're going to look directly at these desires and see how long these things can last in the light of divine being, whatever appears. And let's ask the light this, because the ego is trying to convince, there's a part of ourselves that wants to convince us that we cannot look directly at these. That's why all the histrionics in the storytelling and here's what happened to me. We're just like, Jesus is cleaning that slate off. He says, no stories, no discussion. He's going, contemplate with me and ask me directly to show you. Ask me directly to show you, and I'm going to show you where these are. This is pure happiness, just working directly, not getting into the guilt, diving below, emotions can arise, but dive under them with Jesus. Go, okay, what's under this and what's under this? Show me the desire for this. So show me where I'm really wanting this, and let him take us all the way down to that. And it's so beautiful because you can see that in the beings in the groups when we're getting together in that little iMessage group where beings are just reporting, this is what I'm seeing. I see it. I want this. It's so gorgeous because until it's right here and we see it, it feels like no way out. But as soon as we see, oh, I do want this, it's like, oh, game over for the ego, because then we know he provided for us the universal solution. Dun, dun, dun. Honesty of God. See that we're light, admit we're denying the light. See, get into that admission and going, cease to deny by asking for a miracle. It's that simple. It's like clip, clip, clip. Clip in this. So we'll do work on some of these and just test them. And as I've said many times here, when I first wrote these chapters, and then I started looking with Jesus, like, man, I've been working with that course, and so many of these things, right? I hadn't really seen with the eyes that Jesus pointed to, until I started going with him line by line. And he's suggesting, I can hear him, yes, for everyone. All course students, look at it line by line with this so that you can go back to the course. You'll read that course whole different way, because then you'll be able to, like we do every day in the light circles with the lessons, you'll be able to go in and do inquiry when he's doing a lesson and go, do I still have that? And he'll go, yep. And it's like, oh, okay. And then we can work with them to ask for the miracles. So here we go. Chapter 20, clearing beliefs and desires. Thank you, Jesus. And it's wonderful if he says, yes, you got it. Like, this is the world, that's what's so wonderful about this group. Everybody's like, go for it, cheering each other on. And I just texted out, I think all of you guys are on the group with this. You get so supportive with the Light Brigade, the joining in Light Brigade. Does that feel sparky or what? 24/7. We'll have everybody like set up who wants to be part of the Light Brigade to support Mighties in this group when we need to join. 24/7, somebody's going to be out there. Okay, here's what's happening. Middle of the night, here's what's happening, because Jesus is 100% available. So we'll, work with everybody so they feel they really understand it's not about helping other. It's about being together to really go deep with these beliefs and desires and check in here and really listen to Jesus. Oh yeah, that desire's come. Do I still have it? It's always that this way looking. You're not trying to, just really being present and listen for the voice for God and dropping in to let him use the power of two to just clear the board of these denials of divinity. So we're going to be available. And then as beings want to join and they feel comfortable with this type of inquiry, then we'll have our joining brigade so that there'll be someone to join whenever this stuff's coming up. This is love's response. Jesus is here with us all the time. So we're going to work that model out. Okay. All the beliefs of the ego thought system that are below awareness in the subconscious mind are given in A Course in Miracles. So the light is simple in our direct experience. We can see the light is really simple. It's light. And we can see it immediately. That there's something here, infinite, unchanging, very simple. There's something here, unchanging. And it's not an object. And it's very helpful to sit with that too. Ask Jesus when he gives an assignment, he'll give an assignment. Okay, now go sit in the silence of this, like he does lesson 44. Go sit in the silence. Okay. Mooji calls it reacclimating to formlessness. We're so used to being an object that we don't want to go naked to God. We're so used to sounds and noises inside and thought streams and jumping on different eddies of thought inside. We never just drop thought. I'm asked, can we drop thought? Jesus says, you made it, drop it. And go naked. See, that's his invitation. Go naked to your God, no thoughts, no nothing. And when we come together and join, the same thing. See, we go naked to our brother. No thoughts, no ideas, no nothing. We just come together completely as the light to see what's true. Let the thoughts arise and go, is this true? Do I still have this belief in my, or subconscious desire? And you'll take each other really deep down into the subconscious mind together as light, the power of the light of joining. It's suggested to review and quickly clear these beliefs, okay, in the light circle sessions. And so we're going to work through these. It's just, we're learning to look with him. This is the light training. Look with me, look with me, look at me. I'll show you, I'll save time because I can show you where these little things are. And it's so beautiful because it's a reinforcement that we have to ask him which miracles to perform. Because the ego tries to get hold of miracles and control them. That's why that's the denial of divinity, to try to control and deny miracles and choose selective miracles too. That's why we have to ask them which ones to perform. So here we go. This is where willingness is acceptance of your true power as one with the Father. Just the willingness to look. And we talked about that too before, that it's the unwillingness that hurts like a mow. Let's ask the light. In the light of divine being, is it looking that hurts or not looking that causes all the pain? So we can look really quick and ask the light. In the light of divine being, do I have any desire for an experience of being painful to look at these desires? And if yes comes, ask for a miracle quick. Ask for a change in perception on the desire to make it hard to look at the denials of divinity. We're divine beings. We can look. So we look anyway, because it's gonna play like this. We already know how the ego's gonna play. It's gonna go, I don't want to look. It's gonna start hating these light circles. Like, I don't want to be anywhere near one of those light circles. You'll find yourself enraged at the light circles because the ego's just not going to want to look at all this. This is so direct. It's the play for time. That's when we join. We wrote up like the top 10 or 15 ways to know it's time to join. I don't know. We'll have to pray to see. Maybe we'll put that out because you can see the signs and symbols of when the ego's at play. Okay. Yeah. So here's Jesus's offer, which is really beautiful to remember. Okay. So does the light see the ego as anything? Does it see it as something, or does it see it as nothing? The light give an ego a score of realities? Can we see any reality or ego in the light of divine being in our direct experience? Can we find that in there? So all you get when you look is nothing. That's what Jesus is trying to tell us. It's nothing. Nada, nada, nada. Netty, netty. See, that's what he's trying to give us the opportunity to see that the ego is zip. Yet we fight, we scream, we project, want to kill our brother, want to kill ourselves, we want to all that, see? And he's going, no, come here a minute. I want to show you that none of this it's all nothing. In the light of divine being, honesty of God, is the ego anything? It's like, no, the light doesn't even know what it is. So that's the offer. Like, let me show you this is nothing. But if we kind of run from it, or we don't turn into it directly, into the direct looking, then we're in denial. And he's calling us, like, he's calling us, look, you're powerful light being, you can look at this. Notice in each case how the desired experience is for you to feel more or less than you already are. Oh, that's the play. Let's ask the divine light. Is the play of the ego to make us feel the desired experience to feel less or more than we already are? And if you feel any tension on that, let's ask for a miracle. Just put it in the light and see if that, whatever feelings arise as we're going through, dizziness, the ego's going to nausea, all these things start to rise. Like Muji says, the ego's going to start throwing stones in the bush, distraction. Just stay with it. Stay with Jesus, stay with the light. Don't let anything knock you off the power of infinite being for this direct looking. So that these are desires, see that these are desires for objective experience of an object acted on the world. It gets to the point where you say, yeah, I really do want to feel like a victim. I really do want to feel like the world's beating up on me. That's the gateway in. That is the gateway in right now when we're admitting it. Infinite being does not know more or less. Does the light know more or less? Infinite light in our direct experience, can it find like something more, something less? This is happiness. It's the celebration of sameness, that it's all the same. See, the ego likes more or less and differences and change and time and all that. And the light's going, hallelujah, chorus. It's all the celebration of sameness. Infinite happiness is sameness. Thus is the contrast between what you are, infinite light. Are we infinite light? Just listen to what the light says. Is light saying you're a person? In there, it's not saying you. Is it telling you have an identity? No, it's saying you're light. It just says, but the ego go, but I'm really not sure I'm light. I'm not feeling like light. That's the ego. That's a consciousness play. These beliefs, okay. This is a contrast between what you are and the miscreation to experience what you're not. So now we're really looking directly at the desire to miscreate. These beliefs and desires are all the same in that they are denials of divinity. Many of these desires may seem to be very close or the same, and in the light of truth, they are the same. Within the ego thought system, to look at each one in the light of truth is helpful as it demonstrates the diversity of ways the decision to experience separation displays. And this is so helpful for here. Because even though it seems like, if you're reading along in the course and it seems like when he says a line in it, this is just the experience here, and it seems so close to that line over there. But when you ask the light, you'll think, oh my gosh, I've really cleaned that, Jesus. I have given it over. If you come over here and that line will be slightly different, and you ask the light, see, well, that's why we need the light to show us where the bones are buried. Because it seems like it's just a little hairbreadth different. And in the scheme of things, it's all the same. It's all the desire for choice, if you take it down to the bottom. But we really have to see that first, in a way, so that we're really emitting across the board all the places that the diversity, because consciousness may create a diversity to hide in. And so we look with them very specifically with all these different things that kind of sound the same. When you start asking the light, you'll see that the way consciousness plays, it's not making it the same. It's creating a little division in all these different fragments, different ways. Carefully contemplate each one and see that each is a desire to deny who you truly are, and that you can never truly deny who you are. is the light of divine being. Can we ever truly, in the light, deny who we are? Remember, we looked at the light and discovered and recognized and admit we cannot get rid of the light. We can try as hard as we want, but just see that that's the play in consciousness to boot the light, to kill the light. We can ask. And the light of divine being is the play of consciousness to try to have an experience of killing the light, which is killing ourselves because we're light. That's why Jesus is going, you guys are insane. Is it insane? Let's just see it. In the light of divine being, to be the light that is impossible to kill. Okay. We can't kill the light, but yet to play like we can kill the light and suffer. Now, is that, you know, this is the best group to come to and stand in front and go, you know what? I am addicted to consciousness. I am addicted to pain and suffering. Like I want it so badly. This is the recovery program, the consciousness recovery. I am addicted to consciousness. But we're helping each other out of that addiction. That's why we called each other in our hearts. Come help me, brother. Come show me where I'm addicted to trying to kill the light. Even though I can't kill it, I still want to try and kill it anyway. As we go into these, it seems that's why it gets funnier and funnier. As I start seeing where we're trying to kill that light off now without it being possible. Okay. Carefully contemplate each one and see that each is a decision to deny who you truly are and that you never truly deny who you are. It's impossible to kill the light. Thankfully, we're all already saved, even though we might want to pretend otherwise on occasion. This is a valuable use of time. I think that's, yeah, time to see you're already timeless. In each case, the beliefs given in A Course in Miracles are retranslated. Somebody asked me about the word retranslated. Why do they need to be retranslated? Well, there's not really a word for it. You know, anyway, that's the word that was given, so I typed it. But basically, to show how it's the subconscious desire underneath it. No thought, feeling, or emotion, no objective experience arises without the desire for it. So it's good to ask this 100 times. In the light of divine being, does any thought, feeling, or emotion arise without the desire for it? Can we find a way and hear what the light says? So each time we ask like this, the light, for truth with the little children and let that light answer, we're cultivating. I think Sarah used that beautiful word. You know, I'm really seeing how quickly I can cultivate that relationship with spirit, with who I am. We're inviting the light in every time we ask like that. We're inviting it rather than going no to it. See, no, I'm not divine. I don't have access to God, all this sort of thing. We're just inviting the light. So we'll start with these, the four core beliefs of the ego. That's what they're called in the Course of Miracles. You believe that what God created can be changed by your own mind. So let's just check in with the light and see. Jesus, is there any desire for an experience? Let me reinterpret it. Let me read the interpretation. Thus, you desire an experience of using your mind to change what God created perfect, to experience imperfection. Is there any desire below my level of awareness to have an experience where I change what God created, an attempt to change what God created? If you hear yes, just say, okay, show me that desire. And I'd like to ask for you to help me with the change of mind, help me with that miracle, to change the perception, the value that's being placed on that desired experience. See, we're placing value. And we put that in the light together, the power of who we are. And then we see the way the ego works is to make this desire experience the means to get salvation. So let's ask that. Is there any desire for this experience to change what God created and have it be my salvation? And see what the light says. Let's see if it says yes. And if it says yes, ooh, we ask for a miracle. Like a change in perception that my mind has the power to change what God made. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, in the light, can the light be changed by our mind in truth? Yet if we hold on to this desired experience to attempt to change what God made or created, will we suffer? Well, what does the light say? Light goes, yes, we'll suffer. If we desire this experience to change what God made perfect. So let's look in the light. Is the light perfect in our direct experience as light beings? Is light complete? So we ask Jesus, is there a desire below my level of awareness to experience myself as imperfect? And we ask for a change in perspective in this holy light of divine being to dissolve that desired experience to experience imperfection in ourselves, which seems to reflect out as an imperfect world, an imperfect neighbor, an imperfect relative, child. But if we take it back, where is imperfection being experienced? It's experienced here. And then we can ask the question, put that and let that clear. And then we ask him, Jesus, is there anything else I need to see in the desire for imperfection, an experience of imperfection? Can we go deeper? Is there anything more, deeper? And we just kind of sit with imperfection, let that rise up. Okay. And he just will peel the layers down until finally ask him, he goes, no, it's gone. That's how simple this is, really. Till it just falls away. The feeling of imperfection, the desire for an experience. You desire an experience of change to deny the changeless. See, to change what God made is to try to staple ourselves to the changing. So let's just ask Jesus, is there a desire for an experience of change to deny changelessness? And we admit the denial and place changeless, feeling change and experiences myself as changing. Yet in the light of divine being, does the light change? Can we find a way for light to change in our experience? So is that true? Are we changeable? So the desire for the changing in that experience is we'll always feel unstable. We can ask the light, if we're desiring experience of change, will we always feel unstable? In our direct experience, we're going to feel unstable because we stapled ourselves through desire to an experience of the changing when it's not natural. Is changing natural to us? See how unnatural that is? Just unnatural. We're going to feel terrible all the time because it's not natural to our being. Is change natural to divine being? So we'll do one more for tonight and just really thorough. So if any of these seem to be, and Jesus, you talk to Jesus and he's telling you, okay, you can go deeper on any of it. We can, you can sit with them or, we join on it or however it serves the whole. Because it's not, it's not personal. And this is how we support each other to bring each other all the way down to that basement and clear these denials through a miracle when two or more are gathered in his name. It's even more powerful. Okay, you believe, this is 2 of 4, you believe that what is perfect can be rendered imperfect or lacking. Okay, that's in the course. Thus, you desire an experience of feeling you are imperfect or lacking. It's the whole game of lack within consciousness. So we ask him, we talked about imperfections, so we'll talk about Jesus. Is there a desire below my level of awareness to feel that I lack? Do I desire an experience of lack? This is why we feel insecure all the time, trying to grab onto things. And if that feeling's there, we just place that feeling of lack, the itch for lack, we just put it in, let it meet the divine light, the light handshake, and see how long that desire for experience of lack will last. But until we get to the admission, see, we have to really admit we want it. Because if we kind of bounce off of it and don't go deep with it, it's going to hang out there. And then we'll be repeatedly out there going, why do I feel like something's missing all the time? See, we'll always feel like it's missing because the desire is hidden there underneath our recognition. You desire an experience of projecting imperfection as a world apart from yourself for the experience of imperfection and lack. So we'll always feel like the world lacks something, or we lack something, or our partner will lack something. See, something will always feel missing because it's a desire to feel something is missing. So we just ask Jesus and go, okay, put that feeling, thoughts, feelings, the whole bolus into the light of divine being and see how long it lasts. Offer it to him, ask for a miracle for converting that desire. And just feel, you start to feel this release and relief. Is lack true in the light of divine being and honesty of God? Does the light know what lack is? And see how easy the dissolution of thought, egoic identity is, because it can't survive in the light of divine being. Yet if we withhold a single thought like this, a single desire, we'll always feel like something's missing. That's why we have to turn over everything in the subconscious mind for supreme happiness. Thank you, Jesus. Supreme happiness is our only function. Is it possible by our direct experience in the light of divine being to be supremely happy. And hear what the light says. Is supreme happiness our identity? And hear what the light says. It's pure identity, supreme happiness that we've traded for the play, traded to play for suffering. Yet we have the light to help us through, and we can ask the light, will you help us through this? And hear what the light says happily. And I've given you your brother to help you as well. So we can just love each other right all the way through, and maybe hate each other a little bit, but at least that will show us where we're denying ourselves. Our brother brought to show us where we took a bunch of buttons and stuck them to ourselves as though something in form can change us. But your brother is to help us find the miracles of who we are, the miracle of who we are. So thank you for coming to help, bringing your light to the circle. Amen. Love from San Juan Costa with big hugs always. We love you. We're so grateful for you with us.